Previously on Reniggings. So basically, Whorra wrecked herself. Then some politically correct fire sages found her and started waterboarding her for information. Unable to cope with the torture, Whorra entered a dissociative state where she was instead some guy named Juan, and she could be an even bigger asshole than she is in real life, without any of the consequences. Juan's story begins with him being oppressed by the Chews.
Shut it down!
No, Chews. Totally different from what you're thinking of. Pure coincidence. Juan is so oppressed by the Chews that he steals bread from them. Somehow. I'm not sure how he would have done that, actually.
Big, beautiful.
And the Chew brothers, being the horrible oppressors they are, decide to personally chase him down over a loaf of fucking bread! Because Bright are the masters of sloppy character introduction. Juan is caught for his crime, even though he was a good boy.
I didn't do nothing! Tell that to the judge, punk! I didn't do nothing!
And the Chews oppress him some more, by throwing him off a building. Man, those damn dirty, rotten Chews. Someone needs to take them down a notch. Except that no one within the Lion Turtle City is shown to be discontent or hurting unfairly under the Chew regime. Even the idea of hunters risking their lives in the spirit wilderness to gather food isn't shown to be for or due to the Chews. In fact, it's for
Our people.
The only people who might be negatively impacted by the Chews are these two castaway leeches in a treehouse, and these magic hipsters who keep appearing out of nowhere, and who end up leaving the city with no resistance from the Chews at all. And hey, look, I'm no advocate for Chew supremacy, but you gotta give me something to work with here, guys. Well, aside from them making the people bend their pole arms. Christ, I need to move this along. Juan pretends to want to help the hunters to gain magic powers, which is as easy as asking for magic powers.
Even though some of our characters have supernatural abilities, we always try to show that they're earned and that they have to develop the skills, and a lot of trial and error and hard work and practice. We absolutely love showing characters' development and personality and what they learn and their abilities. We've heard that, a lot of kids have picked up on that. They appreciate the fact that Aang has to earn these talents. He isn't just granted them.
Then he fucks off and uses said magic to steal food from the Chews, instead of helping the hunters get food. And he does this with the help of, where do these people come from? Juan is deported from the city for being criminal scum, but the magic hipsters are not.
What are those filthy peasants doing here?
You fucking tell me, what kind of tyrannical despot are you? Anyway, Juan schemes to have his revenge on the Chews and sabotages their food supply. Oops, no, wait a minute. Instead, Juan sabotages the hunters' expedition and gets at least 2 of them killed. One of whom dies as a direct result of his actions.
My hero?
But it was just a prank, bro.
And so is death.
Once Juan has finished murdering his fellow humans, the human slaughtering spirits accept him as their flame-spitting guard dog.
I've never had a human as a pet before.
And at some later arbitrary point in time, a mangier Juan decides it's high time to find a steadier resource of humans to kill, and leaves for other Lion Turtle cities. Almost straight away, he stumbles across 2 giant carpets beating the dust out of each other. So naturally, he reacts in the only way he knows how. Fire go boom! Turns out these are very important carpets, Rava and Vaatu. And if they're not destroying valleys together, then Vaatu will agitate the spirits and make them even deadlier than they normally are. Juan suddenly realizes his incessant meddling has fucked the entire planet over, but he also knows in his heart of hearts that he can fix everything if he obtains more magic powers from other Lion Turtles, which incidentally coincides perfectly with what he was already doing. So that's a relief. Wouldn't want the impending apocalypse that you caused to be an inconvenience to you or anything. I hate you so much. Juan travels with Rava, effortlessly gets all the magic, then stumbles onto the magic hipsters again, who now all have fire powers. Because I guess the Lion Turtles put out for any guy who asks, the sluts. While Juan reunites with his old treehouse mate, his spirit masters coincidentally pop up again, who, need I remind you, hate humans immensely.
I really hate humans!
And the 2 groups face off. Humans versus spirits. Who will win?
Get out of the forest, humans!
Wait! We can resolve this peacefully.
Stinky? You came back!
Please don't call me that.
You and Rava are just in time to help us clear these tree-killing fire lovers out of here, just like the old days.
You're the one who's getting cleared out. There's no need for violence.
These fire tossers aren't like you.
Spirits like him killed our friends.
I can't let them get away with that.
Yeah, I'm with the humans on this one. Spirits moved in on their turf, forcibly separated all of mankind, then killed and mutated them with capricious spite. And now man is angry. How are they not justified in their anger?
It's Vatu. He's growing stronger, using their anger to turn them to his side.
I had no idea.
Well, any justification the spirits had, which was none, is even less now that they've been turned literally evil.
Wipe them out!
Stop, please! Rava, we need to combine our energies. Maybe then we'll have enough power to stop this. Enough!
So, the first avatar state. Whereas the other avatars were powered by the knowledge of their past lives, Juan here uses Rava? There's visibly no distinction in power output between using the avatar's past lives or just using Rava. So for all intents and purposes, past lives need not apply. It's all Rava all day now. Hey, I have a question. Why didn't Roku ever mention that Rava was actually the one fueling the avatar state and not the past lives? I mean, he knew who Rava was.
You must regain your connection with your avatar spirit.
So why didn't he ever mention her when it would have been super relevant? Hey, Bryke? You didn't just make this shit up, did you, Bryke? Bryke? Hey, why didn't Roku ever mention Rava before?
One, I have to leave your body or I'll destroy you.
No! It's working! If you leave, the fighting will start again.
I think this is the first time Juan has seemed like a good guy. I hope it kills him.
We have to go back.
Don't bother. Your human friends have already been annihilated.
Oh wow. Shit. Darker than a single mother household.
No.
Enjoy your final days. See you at the end of the world.
Rava.
I'm sorry, Juan.
Aw, cute. Put her in a little teapot. Wait, if he's gone to one of the portals, then that means he just traveled to one of the poles. Not on the back of his cat deer, he didn't.
We're almost there. I was wrong about you, Juan.
No, you weren't.
I had no idea that humans were capable of such nobility and courage.
You mean reckless disregard for others?
The human and spirit realms are headed toward annihilation, and it's all your fault. I'm sorry that we do not have much more time together.
I'm not.
Let's not give up before the battle's even begun. Who knows what will happen?
Vatu and I will do battle once again, at the place where the two worlds meet.
Why is he sitting like that? He's meditating, trying to cross over into the spirit world. It takes all his concentration.
Are you ready for our final battle, Rava? Thanks to our friend separating us, I think this time I may be rid of you once and for all.
Why do they keep showing us that Vatu thinks Rava's death will be permanent?
Before you get to her, you'll have to go through me.
No human can stand against me.
Haven't you heard the legends? I'm not a regular human anymore.
Yeah, haven't you heard? He can punch!
I lived 10,000 lifetimes before the first of your kind crawled out of the mud.
I will admit, I like the sound effect they use for this stupid energy beam thing.
It was I who broke through the divide that separated the plane of spirits from the material world.
Does that mean Vaatu made the portals? You mean the bullshit character never mentioned in Avatar The Last Airbender created the bullshit never mentioned in Avatar The Last Airbender? Blowing my mind here!
To hate me is to give me breath. To fight me is to give me strength.
No, the moment Rava stopped fighting you, you immediately started becoming this.
Now prepare to face oblivion!
Rava! The only way to win is together!
You can fly? No. Jump good.
I have to leave you. If I stay any longer, you will die.
Why do you tease me like this?
It doesn't matter. If you leave me now, Vaatu will destroy everything.
Yes, that's true.
We have to finish this together.
I don't care about this fight at all. It's a hippie psychopath versus a giant throw rug. One of them is immortal and the other is too stupid to die. We're supposed to believe Juan's in a weakened state due to spirit overload, but Vaatu can toss him around like a rag doll and he just keeps getting back up anyway, entirely uninjured. And we know Juan wins anyway. None of this matters.
The harmonic convergence is about to begin. The era of Rava is over.
I know that the Avatar planet looks distantly like Earth, but we must have gotten bumped from our spot. Why don't you put a ring on Saturn if you love it so much?
Nani?
Can anyone explain to me what Juan did here? He put his hand in a stream of portal energy and it bound him to Rava because of what exactly? Did this episode or part 1 set that up whatsoever?
Magic.
We are bonded forever.
Oh yes. Yes, we'll get to this. Then Juan Avatar states Vaatu into an elemental bubble and seals him away in a giant tree with force field magic. I give up!
And I will close the portal so no human will ever be able to physically enter the spirit world.
I've heard rumors about your journey into the spirit world.
And I will close the portal so no human will ever be able to physically enter the spirit world and release you.
Oh, good for you!
Okay, this line is stupid for multiple reasons. Sealing the portals flat out doesn't stop humans from entering the spirit world, not even within the Legend of Whorra. Although perhaps we can say it severely limits entry. But entry wasn't a fucking issue. Humans hid on lion turtles to even survive the spirit invasion, barely venturing into the wilderness for food. Only Juan in his colossal faggotry thought it prudent to help free a dark red monster with a demonic voice, then have the gall to be surprised it was evil. So I guess this is Juan's contingency plan to ensure more people like him don't keep fucking it up for the rest. Or some one-dimensional Saturday morning cartoon villain with a paper-thin motivation to destroy the world. Oh, hello there. Sorry, Juan. I guess you had a point. But really the only veritable benefit from sealing the portals would be to contain the spirits. But it doesn't stop spirits either. In Avatar, spirits showed up whenever they damn well wanted. I don't see Heibai portaling here, or Wan Shi Tong portaling his library here, or Ko portaling his face collection here. Maybe these guys were just high-level spirits? Then yeah, it'd be super dangerous to leave the portals open so that unvetted low-level spirits spirits could just waltz in also and fuck with people in a world where most humans have no means of fighting the fuck back. You sanctimonious whore! The portals suck. But for the rest of this episode, we're going to pretend the portals serve a genuine purpose, even though they shouldn't, and that they, in fact, keep the two realms separate, even though they don't and haven't.
The spirits must stop fighting with humans and return to their home in the spirit world.
There were 6 or 8 of them! I think this is the first time Juan's actions made total sense to me. Not sure how or why the spirits are being shepherded to the North Pole without even the slightest trace of disagreement, but hey, writing is hard.
I will teach men to respect the spirits so that balance will be maintained.
Why fucking bother? Respect or no, didn't really stop the spirits from drifting into the human world and forcing humans apart so that they needed the lion turtles and their magic powers to survive. I see what you're trying to do, Break, Tim. I'm not blind, you're incredibly obvious, but it's just not working.
The spirits are not to be trifled with. We all depend on the balance.
Ideally, Bright would be setting this up, but all you have to do is look at the ancient airbenders and it all falls apart. Same as everybody else, they lived on a lion turtle and borrowed its powers when they needed to head out to gather food. So presumably, they were under as much threat from the spirits. And yet, they had a huge infestation of spirits on the lion turtle that did fuck all. Well, until they were...
What? Dork salad!
So were these just the only peaceful spirits out there, or was it the airbenders' natural pacifism that kept them from being? And we all know the answer. The ancient airbenders are the noble savages trope to a T, and because of their respect for nature, the spirits left them alone. But if that was the case, why were the airbenders constrained to the lion turtle at all? Why hadn't any of them gone and traveled as Juan did? You know, be airy and nomadic? You know what, I remember Aang going to the spirit world and not having to fend for his fucking life at every turn. That is, until he actively sought Ko, the face stealer, who was very clearly a foreign element that attacked not only humans, but also animals, and possibly other spirits or other types of mythical creatures as well. So what is it about the physical world that makes the spirits so fucking hostile? Unlike the spirits in Avatar that more or less acted like the planet's immune system, in Korra they just seem like aliens who despise the dominant species of the planet they're invading and the powers the lion turtles bestow on them. Except for some of the Miyazaki Oasis spirits who don't immediately try to squash one like a bug. Maybe the occasional hot soak keeps the homicidal tendencies from bubbling over? You're starting to see how inventing a bunch of bullshit and dumping it into a pre-established setting can lead to a lot of complications? Yes, I'm still pissed over the portrayal of spirits. They can't even be remotely consistent with their new bullshit ones. Fuck them.
Go back to your lion turtle.
I will be the bridge between our two worlds.
No, you're more like the drawbridge operator. Before, the Avatar was the only one, aside from the rare badass, who could go between the worlds because she was heavily implied to be a deity whose spirit meter was maxed out. That's why the Avatar was the bridge. She was the intermediary between the worlds. But now, the Avatar is a spirit mix who merely holds the key to a pair of fucking spirit doors that anyone can go through. The only reason you're the bridge is because you kept the doors locked, and just so happened to do so for thousands of years. Until Whorra came along. Of course.
The world is entering a new age. Our time protecting mankind is over.
I guess they really did just want to fuck with the spirits.
We will no longer give humans the power of the elements.
How tremendously convenient.
Different groups of people must learn to live together.
Wait.
The spirits must stop fighting with humans and return to their home in the spirit world. Different groups of people must learn to live together.
What the fuck is this complete 180? You just physically separated humans and spirits because the two groups couldn't coexist on the same plane. Why must different groups live together? Look, man, the groups are going to divide themselves into the 4 nations anyway. When one nation tries to subvert this order with the best of intentions, the world will be thrown into a century-long war. Unless you mean together but separated?
I am so confused.
This is my mission. To use Rava's light spirit to guide the world toward peace.
I'm sorry, Rava. I failed to bring peace.
The first time I heard this line, my sides were demolished.
I failed to bring peace.
There's a big surprise!
It's just immeasurably amusing to hear Juan narrate his life's mission, and then, just seconds later, see him lamenting that he's a complete and utter failure, which comes as a surprise to no one.
Even with Vatu locked away, darkness still surrounds humanity.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
There wasn't enough time.
Don't worry. We will be together for all of your lifetimes. And we will never give up.
Never say never. The world is a complex place. Sometimes our destiny is determined by events that are out of our control.
Well, this is the Avatar spirit, a golden tendril. And now Juan will never die. Oh wait, hold the phone. Alright, let's pause for a moment because I want you, viewer, to consider something. A point I've avoided addressing for the last few minutes. I called the Avatar a human spirit mix because that's what Juan and Rava became, correct? And now we know from Juan's passing that this fusion is, in reality, what the Avatar is supposed to be. But it's clear to any real fan of the original series that the Avatar had nothing to do with Rava. In Avatar, Rava was neither mentioned nor even alluded to in the slightest. Likewise, many, if not all, of Juan/Rava's steps to becoming the Avatar outright contradict the rules set before. So here's my proclamation. The Avatar is dead.
Yep, the whole world thinks you're dead. Isn't that great?
The question is, what killed it? Was it storytelling incompetence that killed our beloved Avatar? Or, for reasons much more ulterior, did Bright put a gun to the Avatar's head and pull the trigger? Even if you disagree with the foundation for this line of questioning, even if you think I'm exaggerating, stick with me for a bit, because here I'm going to go in depth. This is what this series of videos has been leading up to, and I want to hammer this point in so fucking hard that it'll never surface again. First things first, what was the Avatar? I could give you a lot of speculation, and as a matter of fact I will, but here are the core elements that we knew conclusively. 1. The Avatar was the only person at a given time who could bend/master the 4 elements. 2. The Avatar was the human incarnation of the Avatar spirit. 3. With every lifetime passed, the Avatar would be reborn into the nation corresponding with the next element in the Avatar cycle. 4. The Avatar was the mediator between the 4 nations and responsible for maintaining harmony between them. 5. The Avatar was the bridge between the physical world and the spirit world. 6. The Avatar state was a defense mechanism, designed to empower the Avatar with the knowledge and skills of its past lives. These points were, more or less, what we knew for sure. Not so much the case anymore. Point 1 is now technically untrue. The Lion Turtles could have bestowed all 4 bending types on any person.
No human has ever held 2 elements at the same time.
I'm not like other humans. I can learn to do it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
So let's scratch that off. Point 2 has been altered. It's not the incarnation of a single entity, but rather 2. The incarnation of a human and spirit bonded together. Also, the Avatar spirit is now Rava, the spirit of peace and light.
I am the force of light and peace.
Let's dig into this one a bit. The word avatar is from a concept in Hinduism, or avatar as it's pronounced in Hindi apparently. Hey, The Last Airbender, why didn't you fix that pronunciation, huh?
That little boy might be the Avatar.
The Fire Nation knew the Avatar. Is it okay if you tell me your name?
The monks named me Ang.
Anyway, Avatar means descent, which refers to the incarnation of a deity on Earth. In another branch of Hinduism, Avatar must also mean the result of consensual fusion with a bookmark after touching portal energy. But we'll focus on the former definition for now. When I was a wee lad, just dipping my toes into the internet and fandoms, Aang was considered to be the human incarnation of the spirit of the planet. The Avatar, a deity on Earth, was literally the Earth's avatar. This was corroborated by the Avatar section of Nick.com and many Avatar fan sites. Although I can't prove this today since either the pages don't exist anymore or they've changed their definition of the Avatar to accommodate the Reniggings episodes. However, I did find the old description still up on avatarspirit.net, which was one of the bigger Avatar fan sites in the show's heyday. Ah, memories. And it looks like they pulled this from Nick.com, so there you go. I'm not crazy. The description reads, "The Avatar is the incarnation of the spirit of the planet in human form." Yep, that's how I remembered it. I even dug out my Avatar art book because I was certain determined that the same description was inside it. And sure enough, word for word. Though Mike says here that they later dropped the concept. Yeah, how about fuck you? Back in the day, that description totally worked for me. Who would be more concerned with keeping the planet in balance and harmony than the incarnation of the planet's spirit itself? The reason Aang was so attuned to the spirit world, which used to be portrayed as an extension of nature, was because he was also an extension of nature itself. The reason he could bend all four elements was because he was born of those elements. Then little details like Aang sensing Appa through the roots of the world tree, getting a headache when the moon spirit was distressed, his pacifistic nature, and being a vegetarian, it all meshed seamlessly with the Avatar being the planet's spirit in human form. That's all speculation, ER. Yes, thank you. That's a very, very good point. I could speculate about the Avatar. Even if the Avatar definitively wasn't the human incarnation of the spirit of the planet, that should not matter. Because after 3 seasons, the Avatar was cemented as an entity belonging to a certain degree of mysticism. That mysticism was an integral part of the Avatar. You can't just tell me the Avatar was part light spirit all along when there were no signs, not even hints, in the original series.
You know me?
How could I forget you? One of your previous incarnations tried to slay me. Maybe 800 or 900 years ago.
They demystified the Avatar by taking it from a superhuman who reincarnates because my spirituality to a mutant half-human, half-handkerchief spirit that can't ever die because they're locked in an eternal battle with an evil parade banner. And yes, that's not demystifying the Avatar by making it sound more realistic, not in the traditional sense anyhow, but it's a huge thematic shift. No longer is there a titillating sense of wonder about the Avatar's spiritual connections or their powers. The Avatar is exposed with its pants down for what it really is. Shriveled tassels and all. Alright, 3. Who fucking knows about this one without the nations in place yet and with Juan's globalist agenda. Same with 4. 5, as we have already gone over, is now blatantly false.
I will no longer be the bridge.
The gatekeeper maybe, but the Avatar's no bridge.
I'm just trying to do my job as Spirit Bridge. Would you please turn around?
Well, that depends. Can you go fuck yourself?
And 6, obviously untrue. It's not the Avatar state anymore. Never was, according to Juan. Just listen to Roku lying his ass off here.
The Avatar state is a defense mechanism designed to empower you with the skills and knowledge of all the past avatars.
No, it's not. Juan didn't need to channel past avatars to aid him. He didn't need their skills or knowledge. Hell, he's barely needed any skills or knowledge at all. No need for hundreds of lifetimes of blood, sweat, and hard work. You've got Rava in the Rava state. No further assembly required.
The glow is the combination of all your past lives, focusing their energy through your body.
No, that's Rava energy being focused through his body. You should know this, Roku. You knew who Rava was. Why you lying to my boy Aang, you deceitful cunt? Go die on a volcano. Wow, Juan. Really did a number on the Avatar here. But what's that, viewer? You're not convinced that this horse carcass is fucking dead yet?
More humans! I found you!
Between books 2 and 3 of Avatar, a collection of 4 canonical shorts from an online game called Escape from the Spirit World were released. They take place during Aang's coma after being near electrocuted by Azula while in the Avatar state. To save his damaged Avatar spirit, Aang needs to reconnect with his past lives in the Spirit World, unlike Whorra, who had to reconnect with Rava in Dreamland. Aang first visits Avatars Roku, Kyoshi, and Kuruk, and we're given a bit of backstory on each. We're shown that each of the Avatars were very much human, with their own struggles, hang-ups, and failures. All except for Avatar Yang Chen, who was practically perfect in every way, I guess. Given the Avatar's propensity for human error, Aang asks Yang Chen why the Avatar spirit is a human in every life instead of an all-powerful spirit. Instead of informing Aang that the Avatar actually began as a human who just needed a reason to fuse with an all-powerful spirit, Yang Chen feeds him some bullshit about the Avatar needing to live amongst humans and feel human emotions to truly empathize and want to protect them. Well, it wasn't bullshit at the time of the short, and I quite liked Yang Chen's explanation, but now it's complete bullshit, because the Avatar is part all-powerful spirit. Yang Chen should know this, but when questioned about it, she pontificates and waxes philosophical as if she doesn't really know the true answers behind the Avatar. Wonder why? And in the Avatar finale, Yang Chen tells Aang,
"Many great and wise air nomads have detached themselves and achieved spiritual enlightenment, but the Avatar can never do it, because your sole duty is to the world,
So it's all a balancing act for the Avatar. While she is a supreme spiritual being who must bridge the two worlds, the Avatar is also human and must firmly remain human, as it is their duty to protect the physical world. I really love the idea that each Avatar struggled to max out their spirit meter to unlock their full potential, but could never truly level up to enlightenment because they had to be human. The Avatar could never totally detach themselves from the world they loved, which led to a variety of philosophies between the Avatars. You might be saying to yourself, holy fuck ER, this is way too autistic. Well gee ER, you sound like you really like the Avatar being simultaneously a spiritual being and human, so why can't the Avatar be a spirit-human mix? How does that really break the previous Avatar mold? Well, because the Avatar is no longer a human incarnation of the Avatar spirit. Not a spirit, not part spirit, a wholly human incarnation of a spirit. A single entity endeavoring to balance two sides. But now the Avatar's two entities, a spirit and a human, thrown together to just be. So why must the Avatar aspire to spiritual growth when it literally is part spirit? Which would explain Whorra never needing to truly develop that part of herself, but Wan could just speak with Rava. When did the Avatar lose that ability?
Rava, I missed you. Where have you been? I have always been inside of you.
I think the fuck not, you trick-ass bitch!
You know, Korra had such a direct kind of interaction with Rava, whereas most of the other Avatars seem to just be speaking with each other. And I think, you know, we didn't pin it down. We didn't pin down the rules of the world exactly.
Why did you have to make this so confusing, Break? Why couldn't you just leave well enough alone? Unless you needed to change the Avatar for ends other than telling a story. Later on in Whorra Season 2, in Episode 13, Vaatu frees himself from the magic tree and fuses with the villain, Unalaq, to create the Dark Avatar. Yeah, the Dark Avatar. Just try to tell me this isn't fanfiction. Go a fucking head. The Dark Avatar rips Rava out of Whorra and starts water whipping her gams. As this occurs, there's a rather sadistic show of the Avatar's past lives, one by one, being extinguished. It's a scene wherein Avatar fans are made to watch several beloved characters be torn up and thrown the fuck away. Whorra goes on to defeat Vaatu and restore the cycle, but not her connection to her past lives. Aang, Roku, Kyoshi, Kuruk, Yang Chen, they're gone. For good.
It's over.
No, it's not over.
In interviews, Break have claimed that the Wan backstory was something they'd kicked about since the original series, but couldn't find a place for it until The Legend of Whorra.
The story that Mike and I first had the idea for back during Avatar, I think around the second season, I think it was around 2006 or something. That's crazy. Yeah, it just worked out. We didn't know how and when we'd be able to tell it, but it worked, wove into the Korra season, the book 2 story really well, so.
Here's a tidbit from Mike's website. Brian and I always imagined him as a classic trickster hero. In myth, the trickster hero often causes change in his or her world by messing with people and ignoring society's rules. Our challenge was to keep Wan's mischievousness and trickster tendencies without making him too selfish or unsympathetic. Break sure like their tricksters. In fact, going back for years, they repeatedly labeled Aang with the trope as well. Now, you might think Mike and Brian simply favor this trope and either knowingly or unknowingly reused it because of that. However, if you were slightly more pessimistic, you might think Wan was a not-so-soft reboot of Aang, another attempt as evolved writers. But that would just be your paranoia talking. Although, it does start to compound, doesn't it? The changes Mike and Brian have made. They changed the Avatar from a human incarnation of the Avatar spirit into a human bonded with the spirit of peace and light. They changed the Avatar spirit into Rava. They gave the Avatar a new backstory that diminished much of the implied original Avatar mythos. They took bending, once learned from nature, and made the Lion Turtles elemental magic dispensaries from which the Avatar gained his power, instead of it being inherent to him. They made the knowledge and skills of past Avatars defunct. They eliminated every previous Avatar in the Avatar cycle, permanently. They restarted the Avatar cycle with Whorra as the new progenitor. And last but not least, they removed the need for a spiritual bridge to connect the physical and spirit worlds, replacing the bridge with open and shut portals and facilitating the need for a different type of Avatar. I can understand one or two of these changes being implemented because Mike and Brian just didn't know what they were doing. But altogether, these changes decisively and thoroughly erased the old Avatar. I mean, I don't know what more you could do to erase the Avatar. It appears deliberate. Calculated. Perhaps, in severing any and all links between the avatars of Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Whorra, Break intended to finally make the Avatar their own? There is an aphorism called Hanlon's Razor that goes a little something like this. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, but don't rule out malice.
Funny, there are people who are so attached to the original series, and it's funny because, like, when they confront us or they write us, like, critical things, like, I'll send a little fan letter or like, Aang was such a sweet, gentle soul, and Korra is this, she's awful, and I'm just like,
You gotta deal with it!
I'll never be able to prove Mike and Brian's real intent with Juan without them admitting to it in a Tumblr post or something. Even so, I still think they know what they've done here. They may not even think what they were doing was erasing Aang, but they believe they were improving on him and damn what came before. In short, they George Lucas the Avatar. I'm convinced of it. Interesting too that Avatar ain't in the title anymore. Well, Bright claims that was all Nickelodeon's doing, and I'm actually inclined to believe them on that. But regardless, it's an interesting detail to note.
Korra's back! And she's a blue giant!
Well, that's it. That's all I got. The Avatar's dead, and I say Bright premeditatedly killed it. Let's just wrap this episode up.
Ka-chow!
I remember.
I almost forgot she had amnesia. Oh, this is so bad.
Do you know who you are?
My name is Korra. I'm the Avatar.
We've been raising this herd of air bison since the 100-Year War. What?
The Fire Nation was raising sky bison.
Wrong. I never thought I'd be able to present one to the Avatar.
Thank you for all your kindness. I wonder how long I've been away.
That I cannot say.
Did you not pay attention to how much time she spent in that pool? Are you refusing to tell her? Surely Whorra's not talking about all the time she spent not in the pool, right?
But you do not have much time left.
I think you might be going a bit senile, Azula.
The harmonic convergence is only weeks away.
Oh yeah, so the Avatars existed for nearly 10,000 years on the dot. So there's that last bit of ambiguity blown out of the water for you. Also kinda weird that the technology jump from Juan's era to the end of the 100-Year War is so minimal, aside from steampunk. Yet a meager 70 years on top of that. All of the industrial revolutions! Thanks, Legend of Whorra!
I have to close the spirit portal before that happens.
Spoiler alert, she doesn't close the spirit portals that she helps Unalaq open.
You've come to me with a new face.
She actually tries to bring humans and spirits together, in spite of experiencing, a little something called Juan's fucking life story! Like the one conceivable lesson she could have taken from these two bullshit episodes. And she doesn't, because she's the Avatar.
Humans and spirits must learn to live together. Things will never be the same again. We are entering a new age.
Oh, double spoiler alert, humans and spirits don't unite and the latter chooses to segregate themselves. Also, the portals being left open leads to Book 4 villain Kavira building spirit energy cannons, which wreak even more havoc and destruction. That's so Juan. I'll never forgive you, Tim. Never. And those were Beginnings Part 1 and 2. The first time I saw them, I'd been looking for any reason to give up watching Whorra, especially after the advent of portals, tons more useless subplots, and of course the train wreck that was the first season. But not only did these episodes give me ample reason, they left me feeling absolutely disgusted with myself for even daring to hope the show could get better. I couldn't believe how blatantly Bright rebooted the series, tossing out nearly everything that came before. And what was worse, the overwhelmingly positive reception it received. While Whorra Book 2 as a whole was critically panned by nearly extremely enlightened viewers because it was fucking awful. Conversely, it was as if these Avatar origin episodes were given a free pass, for reasons I just didn't get, and honestly, I still don't. Except for one possible reason, the saddest reason I can think of, that it might just be because Whorra was barely in them, and viewers were simply relieved to have a break from her constant bitching.
Korra's back!
God, how the mighty have fallen.
It was at a point early in season 2 where Whorra was kind of going off the rails, and I remember Mike and the writers really wanted, like, this civil war, she's gonna take it very personally, and she's gonna it's gonna cloud her judgment, and she's gonna not be making good decisions, and like, people really didn't like it, and I remember being interviewed in New York, and they were like, people hate Whorra, so why did you do it? Or something, like, people hate what you've done with Whorra. And I was like, wow, I'm like...
I want to stress though, Mike and Brian are both obviously talented men. During Avatar's run, I followed these guys with embarrassingly religious fervor, which led me to Brian's work on Invader Zim too, another show I ended up loving. Without them, it's true that Avatar would never have existed, and I haven't forgotten that. Yes, I don't think they should be given the majority of the credit for Avatar's narrative, which I still hypothesize goes to Aaron Ehasz, but Mike and Brian were instrumental to Avatar's execution. There's no doubt in my mind about it. That all said, I can't shake the feeling that these episodes, well, the whole show, but these episodes in particular, were Bryke's way of escaping Avatar's shadow. I want to say there's no agenda, but the way Reniggings Part 1 and 2 played out, and the fact that Bryke indisputably adopted agendas for other seasons, well, I'm not that optimistic.
Are you saying I'm a liar?
I'm saying you're an optimist. Same thing, basically.
Sure, I exaggerated some things in these videos, partly for comical effect and partly because I really do just hate them that much. But nonetheless, these episodes killed Avatar for me. Those of you who have asked me to rant about books 3 and 4, well, that's probably not happening. I just don't see the point. I did eventually watch them after they'd aired because folks kept telling me how they were such massive improvements, but they weren't. Not even worse, really, just more of the same. I don't have many complaints about them that you haven't already heard about the rest of Whorra. Besides, it's not like the show could have done anything to appease me at that point. Although I did like how the series finale reinforced the idea that bisexuals are living miscarriages. So yeah, fuck Whorra.
I'm the worst Avatar ever.
Yes, you are. But so is Juan. Fuck Juan, fuck Reniggings, and fuck The Legend of Whorra. But you're free to enjoy it at your own discretion, alright? I'm not taking that away from you. Stop looking at me for approval to like whatever you like. Back to the portals. There's one at each of the poles, which lead to entrances that are side by side in the spirit world, correct? That means that, via portal, it'd take mere minutes to travel from one end of the globe to the other. Guess what the gang of Avatar The Last Airbender spend the entirety of the first season doing?